So what we want to talk about today is we wanted to get some of the businesses that are looking for interns together and talk a little bit more about the program. So this is our HAYVN Hub landing page, and this is where you'll go to ask for an intern if you haven't already. So we wanted to start by having some introductions. So again, this is a pilot. So Catherine will introduce herself. Then we'd like any of the businesses that have interns to introduce themselves and talk about what you're looking for an intern to do. Then we're going to go through some just quick best practices, some career readiness skills, and then just talk about the pilot experience and open it up for questions. So Catherine, would you like to start by introducing yourself?
Sure. So hi, I'm Catherine. Yeah, so I got involved with HAYVN through Live Girl. So at the beginning of the summer, I had an internship before Corona happened in the city at an investment bank. And I was really excited for that because that's something I've always been interested in and wanted to explore it, to see if that was something I wanted to do in college. But that got canceled. So I kind of felt very isolated and out of control of my life because through quarantine, I'm already not allowed to visit colleges. And kind of do everything like a normal junior would do. So I got involved with Live Girl, and then through that I got matched with HAYVN, and HAYVN's really given me the opportunity to kind of explore different areas of just a business that basic I'm trying to think even with HAYVN Hub, just getting to interact with different people and just learning different skills has been really, really great for me. So I think during these uncertain times, just having that thing that I can latch onto and be this is what's benefiting myself, and this is been really great for me, has been an amazing experience. And I was having that experience for other girls around the area, I think is amazing, and I'm super, super excited for it. So yeah.
Great, good. Okay, I think Virginia and Holly and is it Carolyn? You guys all have interns? If you'd like to just talk about your business, whoever has an intern, let's see. Maybe we start with Virginia. Do you want to just talk about your business and what you're going to have an intern do?
Sure. So I have a startup called Cobblecore. It helps people cobble together streaming services. And I have an intern who is helping me with my social media strategy. So really trying to put together for the target that I'm going after, ways to resonate and make what we do more relevant to the right target audience. Also thinking about, doing some a feature analysis in terms of, which features we're going to roll out next and how that will be impacted. So kind of doing a competitive matrix, some brainstorming around social media. I've worked with interns a lot when I was on the corporate side with Showtime networks, and so I really enjoy interacting with young folks who have really great new ideas, fresh ideas, and new ways of looking at things.
Great. Okay. Holly, do you want to talk about your business and what your interns are going to be doing?
Sure. Wait, can you hear me? Hold on. Yes,
yep,
you can hear me. So I have a platform called Venture Mom, and I'm all about supporting female entrepreneurs. And within that platform, I have a marketplace. So I honestly, I can come up with a job for anyone who's willing to work with me, because it depends on what you're interested in. So I would love someone to help me with PR. And I know there is a gal in the system who is majoring in PR, has done some PR in the past. I also have an internship for someone who wants to reach out to my influencer list. So those are two positions I'm looking to fill. The positions I have filled is I've recorded 8 episodes of my podcast, and I reached out to the pool, and a gal who has a podcast is doing some work for me, and very quickly she set up my first 8 episodes on 8 different podcast platforms, which was amazing. And she's putting in my description and my logo, And then I've asked her for some guidance on promoting the podcast. The other job, I'm waiting to hear, I spoke with one of the interns about reaching out for vendors. So we have a marketplace where we sell the products of female entrepreneurs. So it's like a luxury boutique online. And these are vendors that would sell at country club holiday boutiques. So they're maybe too small, or maybe they're in some small boutiques, but they're bigger than Etsy, and they're manufactured products, luxury goods like jewelry and pet products and beauty products. So that is a position, sourcing vendors. You sort of are acting as an ambassador for Venture Mom, where you go out and find women-owned businesses that offer luxury goods and reach out to them and get them set up on our marketplace platform with a collection of their products that we curate from them. So that is something that the interns can take and really run with it, and either put in as many hours as they have available and see how many vendors they can get signed up on. And I'm offering a percent of all the sales their vendors generate. So there is some commission incentive. So if they bring in 10 vendors and we start getting some sales, then there is an income potential there for them. And that's also something they can do if they're going back to school, or, you know, they can do it as a side gig while they're in school.
That's great. Good. Okay. Marie, do you have interns as well?
Sorry. No, I do not have interns. I'm
Okay.
one of the people who try to help you guys.
Yeah. I thought you also had an intern or two.
I'm mentoring Catherine and a couple of other interns separately from this stuff.
Okay. Carolyn?
I don't have I only signed up yesterday, so I actually don't have an intern either. I just sneaked in at the end. So
But you have some things that you want to the intern to do, right? Some projects.
There's a few. I mean, it's a bit like Holly. It's like there's all these things that, I mean, part of me. So one of the things that would be nice to have someone to do is like cast an eye over my website and make sure I've got some consistency on it. Mm-hmm. But there's also just a lot of the recipes I'm trying to tidy up and maybe create videos for them. So it would be great to have someone to help with the filming, help with the editing. And then there's just like, you know, at the moment I'm not doing a huge amount of catering, but there's all the kind of like the stuff that's involved with my blog and website that it would be nice to have someone to and also just someone who is possibly a little bit more tech savvy than me to, you know, to get involved. But the sort of thing only if it would appeal to them. So I mean, you know, just all the things I do on a regular basis. But it would be nice to have someone there to maybe just make me a little bit more accountable for getting it all together.
Great. Okay. Anyone else on that has an intern?
I don't have an intern yet, but we are signed up today, and we're looking for someone to help us with our sales funnels. So we have a whole list of potential customers, and we have a profile of who we're looking for, companies that are churning out a lot of content and training, high-end content and training. And so we would work with the intern to sort through that list. And then we have some marketing tasks, social media tasks, all related to building our e-learning platform or e-learning services. And I've worked with a lot of interns before, and I love, like everyone else has mentioned, I just love working with young people, and it's a great opportunity.
Great. Anyone else? Did Beth Kemp join?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hello. Have you signed up and you want to talk about your business?
Sure. So I am the executive director of a nonprofit, Paradigm for Parity, and our mission is to achieve gender parity in corporate leadership by 2030. So I was interested in just hearing about the program, and I know there's some restrictions on our end because we have a fiscal sponsor as to what what, you know, who I can bring on and if they're paid or not paid, that kind of thing. So I was just curious to hear more if it's something I could look into if I can have one. But I've had volunteers, but I think it's different than the intern program.
Yeah, okay. Anyone else who has an intern or is interested in an intern that'd like to talk about their business and what they're looking for an intern to do? All right. So let's move on then to some best practices. And it sounds like everyone is pretty familiar with interns and having interns, but just wanted to pass along a few tips. First one is to really value your interns. It's a great opportunity to give back to your local community, to get your name out there, obviously to get a fresh pair of eyes on your business, someone who's, you know, maybe in your demographic or just, you know, different perspective. You want to treat your interns as employees and really make sure you're giving them something that is at the core of what you're doing. Kind of administrative work and filing and things like that. While that is certainly something I'm sure needs to be done, you really want to try to get them more involved in what your business is all about, give them an opportunity to really experience your culture. You have lunches or any things that you do, you know, it'd be great to include them as well. And also planning an interesting work experience. And the more you can structure it, so have a kind of a formal onboarding process, show them the systems they're going to need, get them their IDs, have a written development plan that really progresses them through the time that they'll be with you, even if it's just a few weeks, but really give them an idea of what to expect, and then obviously mentor them, which is something I know a lot of people are doing. You also want to check in with your intern frequently. My daughter had an internship a couple of years ago, and the guy just basically said hi at the beginning of the day and bye at the end of the day, and she was kind of left to figure out what she needed to do. So, you know, you want to give them direction. You want to be there to answer their questions, check in with them, and really make sure that they know what they're working on is valuable to you and your business. And then connect the intern to a community, which is what we're trying to do here with HAYVN, or within your company. If you're part of a larger company, it's always great to have them meet other employees and other interns. They really like to obviously work with people at their age. So that's another great tip. So Cynthia, I'm going to turn over to you now.
Okay, next slide.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it to the next slide.
All right, so I'm jumping in. I'm Cynthia Lyon. So the next slide this is from the National Association of Colleges and Employers. And the feedback and the research is that these are the skills that are oftentimes overlooked, but it's really what employers are most reporting that they're not getting. So, and in this time of the pandemic and the need for resiliency, basically these skills are actually more important than ever. And you can also, IBM did some research that shows that these career readiness skills, oftentimes they're called soft skills, but they're much more essential than that. So these essential skills are what the interns need to learn. And by working with you, this is an opportunity for them to practice them, or, you know, and you may not be able to touch on all of them, but to the extent that you can help them, even if, you know, by working with you, they find out, do I want to work with an entrepreneur? You know, I like doing this, I don't like doing that. So you can read this list, but essentially these are well-researched things. And I think that it'd be nice if you have an idea of one or two that you might want to, you know, be able to help them with during the time that they're with you. So next slide. So the next slide is, so this is really a pilot. I mean, kudos to Felicia and to this group of people who were basically saying that, let's just do this. We've got students at home, they need their internships. They need to understand real life experience and not just school. So jumping in and having you guys who have a real need as well, and helping, you know, everybody jumped in together to put this together. So of course, in this time of COVID-19, you know, most internships will likely be virtual, but, you know, HAYVN does provide a safe environment, but we all need to be mindful of keeping it safe. and behaving in a safe way, social distancing. We're inviting the interns to participate in the HAYVN experiences, another opportunity for the learn and grow. So there's the half times on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's going to be virtual co-learning, another experiment, virtual co-learning on Thursdays, I guess starting next Thursday, where co-working, so you can just have your computer open while you're working and be with people so you're not quite so alone, or you can pick something you want to work on during that time period. And then we're looking for an opportunity to let interns present, because that is a skill, presentation skill. So maybe they could present to their colleagues, the other interns, or they can maybe present to some of us. We can decide. We would like to have you provide feedback on what went well and what the opportunities are for improvement, because perhaps we can do this again, even if the schools are shortened in the winter. Maybe there'll be some time for another internship program before next summer. So I think you guys have all seen the form, but here's a link to the form to get the interns. And, as you know, right now we have more interns than intern projects. So if you know of any other firms that you think would benefit from an intern, we'd be happy to include them. So next slide. Basically, that's what we have prepared in this group of 5 or 6 of us. So I guess we'd love to hear from you. What do you think? Questions in it, what other questions you have, and we'll answer them, or, we'll do our best. So Holly, you're interesting because you have so many interns.
Well, I have so many internships. I have a million things that I would like to do, and I love working with young women. And one project that I have is the whole ambassador program, and I really need to, I sort of piece it together when I get an intern. It would be great to have an intern to systematize it for me. In other words, the ambassador program, where when they sign up people, they get, to explain the whole process and have the letters and the logos and like what you're talking about in terms of here's how it works. So if I could have an intern systematize the internship program, I could offer many young women the opportunities to be ambassadors, where they're going out, because each person has their own sphere of influence. They know other women with businesses to get on the platform. So maybe that's a direction I should go. Then I could expand even further.
I wanted to make sure we answered Beth's question about the paid versus non-paid internships. We are, we're saying it's basically whatever the intern is willing to accept. Some of them are looking for part-time work, some sort of compensation, but some are also just looking for experience that they can put on their resume. So, and then on the company side, Beth, as you mentioned, there are some parameters that have to be met. So it's across the board. So whatever you're able to do on your end, if there's a match for an intern who's willing to take that on, it's kind of open-ended in that way.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yep.
So because I was kind of holding back when I heard there were so many girls looking for internships. I kind of put my name in the hat yesterday. But what is the process in terms of matching up with an intern? Do they look at the companies and come forward with ones that they would like to work for, or are we choosing how is it? What's the logistics behind it?
So I'll answer that. It should be we sent you a list of interns to look at. There's a spreadsheet, and you can look at people and you can contact them directly. And we have a call with the interns afterwards at 4:30, and we're explaining to them too to be proactive and look at the companies that are available and you know, reach out to them. So initially we are encouraging you to, you know, find the intern yourself that you think will work. We had originally started this as really a platform to just match people, like a place for people to go, but it is kind of evolving a little bit, you know, where people can work at HAYVN, or, you know, if they want to, or take advantage of our resources. But I think for a couple of reasons, we want to stay away from, you know, being
Matching,
you know, matching and being like the ultimate responsible, because if you don't have, you know, God forbid, if you don't have a good experience, you know, again, it's up to you to pick and interview and make sure it's the right person. Like I've been talking to Alexis about, you know, just in terms of the liability, and I think if we're just a platform for, you know, a vehicle to find people, that's what HAYVN's trying to do.
Okay.
And actually, just to add to that too, you should look at the rules for like this kind of internship too, paid or unpaid. There's certain protocols that you have to follow. And
where are those?
So that's good point. Like, I mean, I think in general, it's probably on the Connecticut website, and we probably should put this on our platform too. Alexis is sending me a few documents about this, but typically, depending on how long the internship is and how it's structured, you either have to have it paid or you have to apply credit through the Live Girl. I don't know, Catherine, if you can talk, like in your case, we don't have, it's not like that because it's a sponsored program by Live Girl, correct?
I honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue, but
We cut this out of our video recording, but we'll have to research this.
Yes. Yeah, all I had to do was say that like I could accept an unpaid internship, and that was like the basis of my thing.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how large the corporation you are. You know, and there's also rules per corporation. So, you know, we should definitely be aware of there's sort of the statewide rules or regulations as well.
Yeah.
One more thing I just want to add is that when you're thinking about things to give your interns to do, one thing that might be helpful is to sort of drill down on you know, some of the tasks and see what those could be sort of described as in terms of marketable skills, right? So Carolyn, you talked about, you know, doing some filming, some editing, some content editing as well. You know, these are things that are transferable into other career paths and multiple career paths. So, you know, thinking about, you know, how to isolate these sort of transferable skills and help the intern sort of make these connections, because a lot of times they're not necessarily understanding the lingo or familiar with the lingo of a business, so, or of the business world in general. So I feel like making those connections for them and trying to think about projects that will help them in building their skill set is a good thing.
Thanks.
Okay, and I'm just looking up, I'm gonna send a note to Alexa. She had given me like a five questions to ask. And I believe if you are providing a forum and, you know, in-kind benefits to the intern, that will also be counted as part of the paid option, but we'll confirm that.
What's an in-kind benefit?
Well, like for us, I mean, the fact that Catherine can attend, you know, the HAYVN half times for free, or, you know, we're providing a forum for certain things. So, and so it might be in terms of training. So I don't have all the answers for this right now. So I'm going to ask Alexis just to answer. and I also kind of feel like with the fact that it's like a 3-week turnaround, you know, there might be some other options for that.
When you say 3-week turnaround, is that the length of the internship?
Well, it depends. Like some of the, again, yeah, these are all good questions and I don't have all the answers.
I think it depends on the needs of the business. You know,
Yeah.
if the student's going to be around and the business needs help into the school year, then, you know, that's acceptable
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I think we just have to keep remembering this is more of like a job board that, you know, Haven is facilitating a list of interns who are looking for, you know, experience, and a list of businesses who could use some help. And it's not a formal matching process, and not necessarily, you know, a set beginning and end date. These are things that could be discussed between the two groups, the two
I
parties.
think the 3 weeks was because if you did a typical summer internship, the interns usually end by the first or second week of August so that the students can go back to school. So we're in unusual times. And so I think it's about the intern and the employer trying to figure out what the time frame looks like. And I do think once we get those guidelines, it's going to be something like, if you were actually using a person for full-time work or for permanent work, you'd probably have to pay them. But if they came for 3 weeks to sort of test out the environment, I think that a small business wouldn't have to, but well, I'd be interested in seeing how that's written.
Because I didn't see anything about the 3 weeks when I was like signing up on when I got the email. It was because it was asking me what the dates were. So
Yeah.
I think we were just thinking typically the students want to go back and do other things, but it's really about you talking to the intern about how much time they have, and then you also need to make sure you're happy with them. So in a week or two, you'll know if you want them to work longer and they want to work longer or not.
And the start date for this internship is then next Monday, or?
You can start today. I mean, people are already starting.
All right, okay.
So it's up to you.
Whenever you find an intern that you like, and you reach out to them and see when they can start and when you can start.
Yeah.
Okay.
All good questions. I mean, like Catherine, I'm hoping that she'll stay on for, or we'll work something out for longer term, but it's a great way to test things out. So.
Carolyn, you have the list of interns?
I'm just looking to see. All right, my computer is such a pain in the neck, to be honest. But things.
So we're definitely going to be editing this recording, right?
I saw it when it came in originally.
I'll send it to you, Carolyn.
But I haven't seen the updated one with you know, the interns.
You want to put it in the chat, Catherine?
Yeah, I can do it right now. It's right there.
Great.
So if you're having a 4:30 call, should I put another internship on there? The setting up the ambassador program and the reaching out to the influencers?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So
Now, how
Catherine,
many-
can you send me the link to do that?
Yeah. You want just like the application link again?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
It's on the website too. The
Oh,
HAYVN
it is. Okay.
I can get it really quickly so you don't have to go look for it. Perfect. And then who have you matched with? Just
So
I can look.
Brianna, what's her last name? Pardon me?
Oh, I think it was just an echo. Oh, Brianna Robinson.
Her email is great. I haven't even spoken to her. She just went to work and it was so great.
Yeah, I think it's Brianna Robinson or Brie Robinson.
Let's see.
That's only Brianna I see.
Yeah, it's only Brianna, so I'm assuming it has to be her.
Is she not
So
coming up under my
we're going to have to
Gmail?
do a little HAYVN magic story about this once you get your podcast up and running.
Well, it's out there. So it's out there.
Wow.
Her name is, well, I don't know her name. It's Bright Ideas. Brianna. Her name is
Yeah,
Brianna.
there's only one Brianna on this list.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's it. Brianna Robbins, you said?
Yeah, Robinson.
Robinson. I mean, she was great. I said, you have a podcast? What do I need to do? And, you know, for me, she said, Holly, I need to sign you up with all of the podcast people. And I said, fantastic. can you do it? She goes, yeah, I'll get started on that right now. So she signed up, and then she wrote me, she said, we need a logo. So I said, great, I'll ask my tech gal. I sent it to her. She's going to replace that. She said, okay, send me your podcast. And so I did it. And, you know, I love someone, I mean, and I hear it from Carolyn too. I mean, we're not tech savvy, Catherine, like you and your peers. So if you say to us, Holly, this is not hard. We just need to do this, this, and this to get where you need to be. It helps us so much because we don't have that information, and we also don't have the skills to get there.
Yeah.
Like in so many cases. So if you sort of guide us, I mean, someone could go to Carolyn and say, okay, Carolyn, I'm going to come to your house 3 times and film. You come up with 3 desserts or whatever you're making this week. I'll be there at 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to film you. Get ready. I'm coming over. Carolyn would probably say, okay, I'm ready. Come on over.
And the website audit that Carolyn, you said you needed, that's a great skill set to have, to just be able to go through a website and kind of audit it, check for broken links, and, you know, make sure information is consistent. That's such a marketable skill that it'd be great to.
This is amazing. I mean, it's basically like you're getting a daughter for hire. And someone that's not going to talk back to you, right?
Yes,
Like a movie.
that's a key fact.
Who's editing this? I don't know who's editing this, but this is the most interesting recording.
But I think some of this recording we definitely is great. I wish, Carolyn, we could see you physically here.
I know. I just keep losing the Zoom.
But Carolyn, you have such a great business for an intern who loves cooking and knows social media, who could, and these interns, they can probably do a graphic for you and get your branding together and then take that video. I mean, do you have an Instagram, Carolyn?
Yeah, she does. It's really good.
She does. So
the thing is, Holly, that's very sad. I'm trying to see if I can just relaunch this so I can.
She needs an intern to do Zoom for her.
Right. Yeah.
oh, well, there you go.
There she is.
So I wasn't planning to. So the reason I didn't sign up earlier is I have a daughter who has just graduated, who has been helping me a little bit with this, but you know, I have this whole thing that I can't make her do it. She has to want to do it for me, and she has other plans, I think. So I was holding back because I didn't want to tread on her toes and get someone else in to do it. But honestly, I mean, she's already got a job somewhere else, so I don't think her plans for this summer is hanging out with her mother and updating her website. So
It's hard to believe.
Well, just tell her you're bringing someone in to help. I mean, it's not taking her position. You're bringing someone in to assist as well. And you're doing it as a favor for Felicia. So it's not like you're replacing her.
But this is just a daughter swap. I mean, how great it is to have. I mean, that's
I mean, Catherine did. She has been taking photographs, and you know, my most liked Instagram post was photographs she took. She made a video for me, and she did some funky editing and things. I just, you know, she's got another agenda.
And you're helping other girls, which is what you want to be doing, right? So
I know, but it's hard. I have the same thing. I have a 17-year-old she's an amazing intern. So it's like, but I did text Dimitris. He's looking for an intern, so he's going to be signing up. And I think Hanan too might be signing up as well. So we'll get.
I think we're also going to try to send an email. Teresa asked me about having an email to send to Susan Cater with the Darien Chamber of Commerce.
And the chamber wants to hire someone as well as, right. And then Keith was going to send something to Stanford Innovation Week too.
But you know, I just want to say one thing that would be so helpful to all of us from the internship perspective. Teach us to fish. In other words, don't just do it for us. Say, okay, this is how you post an Instagram, and these are the hashtags you should use, and write that down for us so that after you leave us, you know, we become dependent on you, and then you leave us, we need to know how to fish. We need to learn how to do it I mean, for those things that we don't know how to do. You know what I'm saying? Teach us to fish so that either we can pass it off, in other words, systematize it. So we could pass it off to another intern or an employee, or we could do it ourselves. Because
Right.
if we just let you do it, then we're still, once you leave us, we're left without that process.
So you
being
should
done.
be on the 4:30 call to the interns, telling
Yeah,
them
you should
this.
be.
I
But I
don't-
also
Yeah, I
think
think
they're going to be a little, this is my theme, is that I think that they're going to be a little shy. Like my understanding is they're not going to ask you a question. I have had a young person work for me recently. They don't really want to ask you the questions, but they think they're stupid.
Not yet.
Well,
Well, I
we're
don't
We're
want
the
to
ones
be.
that are stupid.
Right. So the point is that that's the idea of checking in with them and then asking them questions and then saying, this is what I'm hoping you will do X, Y, Z. Maybe you could get them to
Right.
speak up a little.
And maybe
But-
a best
but
practice is really that documentation of the process, you know, as you do something, write it down, that way it can be passed on.
I mean, I totally agree, Holly, but I think it is, I mean, it's the onus is on the company, the entrepreneur to, you know, if there's something that you want to remember, just make sure that, you know,
Yeah, you
make
write
that clear to.
Sorry, on a technical note, I'm seeing the view only student list, but the columns don't seem to be wide enough. I can't actually read everything that's written.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. The Google Doc is kind of a bit cumbersome to look at.
It's a view
list?
only, so I edit it so I can there. You know, you can't read everything that's written down under like interests, hobbies, passions.
Yes.
Yeah, I can try to edit that, and you can also make a copy of it. But I'll try to edit it.
Yeah, you could download it to view it, and then you could go in and make copies of,
Yeah.
make changes if you want.
Yeah, because I tried to change the columns, like the wrapping of the text and doing things like that. But yeah, it's a, you know, again,
yeah.
I think if we go forward with this, we should come up with a better thing than the spreadsheet.
Better format.
I agree.
Yeah. But
We should
That'll
probably
be
also
phase
be
2.
thinking about, yeah, what the measures of success are. So it's a pilot, you know, what do we want to make sure happens so that we can say, oh yeah, this was really successful. Something to
yeah,
think
I mean, that's good. I
Oh,
feel like it already is.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm happy.
Ollie has a podcast.
We're here.
It's out there.
Remember when we were
Wow.
thinking and wondering whether we could do this? So, you know, I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
Well, 5 interns, 5 internships. That was the game plan, right?
that was our goal, yeah.
It's true. That was our goal, and I think we blew past that.
Yeah.
Catherine, do you have any other tips for like, that we should include?
For like company, like
Well, the fact, you know, like your experience and like the
Yeah.
other things that you would like to.
I don't know. Like I just think as long as you guys like have like for me, like I always don't want to feel like I'm like hurting rather than helping. So kind of like make sure you tell your interns like, oh yeah, this is helpful, because like I don't want to be sitting there and like kind of like, because it like takes time to like teach your intern how to do something, and like all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes I feel like I'm like just it's like more work than it is like for them just to do it themselves. So I don't know like how to phrase this correctly,
Oh,
but
I
like
know
make,
what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, can I just go back? I have sent this to myself, but I still can't get in to make the columns wider, so I can't read what's
So
being.
go into so go edit our file.
I just no, because my thing is a view only.
Yeah, but
Oh.
you can go to file,
Mm-hmm.
then say make a copy.
Okay.
And then you can name it whatever you want, and then you can edit it however you want.